The dynamic of Pokemon moves has been split primarily on typing, but Generation 4 introduced the physical special split, making moves be either physical or special based regardless of the move's typing. Today I'm discussing why the special stat was chosen as an opposite to the physical stat. No copyright infringement is intended by the use of media in this video, and before we get into the video, if you are looking for some cool gaming gear including custom controller designs, check out Cinch Gaming and make sure you use code CHAOSMAY at the checkout to get a 5% off on all your purchases. Link is in the description. With all that being said, sit back and relax as we look at the special stat. I've already discussed the physical special split in Generation 4, but we need to look at all the information. Pokemon's introduction brought about the physical and special moves based on types. Special moves included all the moves, the types, any of the evolutions, and dragon. So fire, electric, water, grass, ice, dark, psychic, and dragon are all special moves until Generation 4. Now of course fairy is left out because fairy wasn't introduced until Generation 6. This leaves normal, rock, ground, bug, poison, fighting, flying, ghost, and steel moves as physical attacks. Generation 1 also had a busted special stat, which encompassed both attacking and defenses for the special stat. The Generation 2 fixed the busted special stat, and Generation 4 fixed the typings having been physical or special. So really, what else is there to talk about? Well, I really want to discuss the name for special for the special stats. Why did they choose the name special? Physical attacks make sense since there typically is contact or throwing things at your opponent. But what about special? What dynamic does special encompass? Special makes up all the other things that don't fit into the physical typing, but then why not call it the other stat? Well, how would you feel about other as a stat? Yeah, I didn't think that would go over so well. Special moves conjure attacks, protecting attacks, and altering the environment to make attacks. While we as people find this to be a special attribute, this also could have a few other names. Mental comes to mind. No pun intended. Many of these altering elements attribute to something many people call the Force. You know, Star Wars Force. Jedis use their mind and emotions to interact with the environment, causing things that are unusual to those who aren't in touch with their environments. A Force user also can project emotions like hatred for dark side Force users to essentially project their feelings into actions. Now this is a human thing. Well, maybe not moving rocks with our mind, but the projecting emotions part is very true. Humans have different expressions for different feelings. You typically smile if you see someone you like because it makes you happy. And you may frown when they leave because you are sad. People also project feelings by doing things. Think about how many times you wanted to punch a wall because someone made you angry. How we act and even the choices we make are influenced by how we feel at the situation at hand. Our lives are essentially driven by our emotions and how we decide to portray them to the world. So maybe these Pokemon using special moves is just their projection of their thoughts or emotions. So why not call this the mental stat or the emotional stat? Mind versus body has been a very interesting debate since the birth of humanity. Which is better, mind or body? Pokemon already drive these forces by having the fighting and psychic types resembling body and mind respectively. They choose to take mind over body by having fighting types weak to psychic type moves. With already having used that aspect of life, it seems redundant to include it again in the stats. Another potential name could be the bending or magic type. Since these both things are supernatural, with the power to manipulate things like earth, fire, water, and wind, these could have been seen as a nod to the dark typing, with dark magic, since many people see it as trickery. It is simply tricking the mind to do something unexplainable, but really, all magic has simple explanations, so this negates the usefulness of that term for the stat. Bending could have been seen as manipulation of certain aspect like time or space, but with Avatar: The Last Airbender anime being so popular around the beginnings of Pokemon, it would be seen as copying, so a different name would be needed. My final idea is the internal stat. Many of these Pokemon breathe their moves and incorporate mental processes to manipulate the environment. These moves come from within. They're based on how the Pokemon can utilize its body and emotions to create attacks. This title hits home since internal is often seen as personal or vital. Looking at the human anatomy, typically you don't find a heart on the outside of your skin. While this can be a reality in rare cases, most organs that are vital to survive are protected underneath of our skin by a long shot. Damaging these things can cause problems with a life form who uses them to survive. If a Pokemon used this as a stat name, it would be construed as extremely harmful or even deadly to a Pokemon to be hurt in this manner. Now, Pokemon's a kid's game, so it's good to stay away from these ideas. Throughout the discussion of the other titles, I've been trying to refrain from using special in my description. Each of these aspects refers to speciality. Emotions and mental processes are individualized to each person or Pokemon, making them special for that specific thing. Often having different or odd qualities may be magical, but they're just make a thing more specialized at doing something. Regardless of what they chose to name the stat, the qualities of the stat are internalized and personal to each Pokemon, making it a special quality for each individual to possess. Special makes sense as the name, since it brings no biases from other things, but it also holds true to the qualities to each of the things that individualize themselves. Well, that's all I have for this discussion. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe with that notification bell on so you can be updated when new videos are out. That's all I have again, so I thank you. And until next time, I'm Chaos May 006, signing off. Burn it up.